कौन तैयार होता है?
Okay, hello, good morning. Hello, good morning to everyone. I welcome you all. This is Alka Mishra, and today we will going to start with the current affair discussion, and starting with, okay, before that, international trade fair is going on in basically in Delhi, that is in New Delhi, that is in Bharat Mandapam, which was earlier known as Pragati Maidan, and recently the data has been released by PIB, and PIB says that on an average 1 million plus people have actually visited this trade fair last year in 2024, and in this year, that is in 2025, we are expecting more and more basically visitors, and plus it's not only the tourist destination, or it is not only one of the place where people are visiting nationally and internationally, but there is one more thing which is very important from this article is that the people who are coming here, like lot of your small scale industry people, MSME sector is getting a benefit from this trade fair. Yani ki lot of small, particularly traders, small businessmen, they showcase their product there, and the people from nationals and international investors, they come and they learn about the product, and accordingly they invest in the products. So in product and services, whatever they are providing. So it is also kind of a product ka mela which has been concluded, which is going on. So a lot of people are benefited from this, and once this particularly event will end, we will see some more data and facts which is actually very important from your 2047 Viksit Bharat, because according to 2047 Viksit Bharat, we are working on basically to grow these MSME sector people, so that a lot of benefit can be given to the country and to fulfill the goal of 2047 Viksit Bharat. Now the next one more important article which we have not discussed here, but we have discussed prior, so I will just give you an update related to that. Recently a Colombo conclave has happened in New Delhi, and Colombo conclave is actually related to basically protection or security related to your Indian Ocean region. And Colombo conclave ka meeting was also held recently, and again there was a meeting which was held recently, and it is a Sri Lanka based. It was initially started in Sri Lanka, that's why it is known as Colombo conclave. And Colombo conclave ka recently there were 5 countries which were part of this Colombo conclave, in which Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, India, Maldives, Mauritius was the country. But recently Seychelles has become the 6th country to join this Colombo conclave. Now what is the core pillar of this Colombo conclave? So core pillar of this Colombo conclave is that we are focusing on your maritime security and surveillance, that is specifically in Indian Ocean region. Second, we are working to counter terrorism and radicalization, that is the second core principle of this Colombo conclave. The third important aspect of this Colombo conclave is that we want to counter the trafficking and transnational crime. Yani ki jo transnational crime ho raha hai, like organic, jo we say that, or organic crime, organized crime is not actually have a certain boundary. It's boundaryless. So it's a transnational crime. So to counter that, plus to basically work on the disaster relief and the other aspect, that is the cyber security. So these are the 5 core pillars on which this Colombo conclave is working, but the main purpose is basically your national security. So Colombo conclave has been concluded, and recently Seychelles has become the 6th country to join this Colombo conclave. Then the next article, USA se we have discussed ki javelin missile, we were actually anti-tank missile we were about to take. So recently they have passed the particularly क्या बोलते हैं acquisition or memorandum ki yes, they will going to give us around on an average 90 or 100 kind of javelin missiles they are providing us. Then British के साथ we have, मतलब UK के साथ we have signed an agreement which is related to your again anti-tank arm missiles related, anti-tank vehicles related, we have signed an agreement. So these are the things which you will see. Now let us discuss one of the most important article which has actually became the limelight from examination point of view. So recently the 32nd meeting of the North Zonal Council have been occurred. So from here, what is Zonal Council becomes important, what are the aspect, like it is an important topic from polity aspect as well, and what is the other technical things which are related to this become important from examination point of view. Now Union Home Minister Amit Shah has chaired the 32nd meeting of North Zonal Council, that is in Faridabad, Haryana. Now Faridabad is in highly in buzz from last few months, so obviously this place is one of the important factor which you will see. Now zonal council is kind of particularly, what is zonal council and what are the things which you will see. The two make, जैसे क्या होता है कि individually सेंटर लेवल पे थिंग्स आर इंपॉर्टेंट, देन वी हैव स्टेट एंड द लोकल गवर्नेंस. ठीक है, दैट इज द नॉर्मल अंडरस्टैंडिंग हाउ द गवर्नमेंट इज फंक्शनिंग, कि देयर इज अ सेंटर, देन देयर इज अ स्टेट एंड देन लोकल पे पंचायती एंड म्यूनिसिपैलिटी इज वर्किंग. बट ऑन द अनदर हैंड वी ऑल्सो नो दैट कि जैसे यूपी शेयरिंग बॉर्डर विद एमपी एंड यूपी एमपी के साथ में, देन हरियाणा है थोड़ा सा पर्टिकुलरली साइड में विच यू विल सी, दिल्ली इज शेयरिंग द बॉर्डर, देन यू विल सी अदर स्टेट्स आर ऑल्सो शेयरिंग बॉर्डर विद ईच अदर, एंड सम ग्रुप ऑफ स्टेट्स like they have a common problem, like you can say ki northern states specifically, or let's say Himachal, Uttarakhand, they might have some common problem jaise ki landslide or cloud burst. These are the common problem. So to resolve these common problem, these kind of a zonal councils has been created, and there are 5. Initially there were 5 zonal council, and later northeast zonal council has been added, because northeast also is one of the most important part of the country. So together there are 5 plus 1 zones which you will see, and in these zones there are different states which have actually agreed ki yes, in this zone we agreed that this will be the particularly states will be part of this zone, and together they discuss about the common problems, the trade related things which they are facing, and to resolve those problems they conduct meetings time to time. So Northern Zonal Council का meeting has been conducted in Faridabad, Haryana. So now how many states are there, or which are the particularly states and UTs are part of this Northern Zonal Council? So it's your Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Rajasthan, Delhi, Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh and Chandigarh. These are the particularly state which you will see which comes under your basically North Zonal Council. Now some technical facts related to this. First of all, what is zonal council? So obviously mota we have understood ki bhaiya what is a zonal council. So zonal council is basically a statutory body, that means it has been made by an act. What was the act? So act is your State Reorganization Act. So it's a statutory advisory body. Whenever a body is advisory, that means majorly their particularly advices are not binding on the government. They are not binding on anyone. That is just a debate and discussion, and they are signing some of the few of the agreements or discussions. But majorly they are advisory body. They advise कि हमें ऐसा ऐसा करना चाहिए for the benefit of the zone. So this is what actually the function of this body. So zonal council is a statutory advisory body created by an act that is known as State Reorganization Act between state and the center. That's why Union Home Minister is representing here, plus the chief ministers of all the states and UTs are actually present there. So from here composition also becomes important, which we will see further. So we have currently 5 plus 1 zonal council, which you will see. Sorry, I'm so sorry, 5 zonal council initially. So there are 5 zonal council: north, central, east, west and south. 5 और एडिशन में वी हैव अ सेपरेट नॉर्थ ईस्ट काउंसिल. सो नॉर्थ था, सेंटर था, ईस्ट था, वेस्ट था एंड साउथ था. अच्छा, इनिशियली देयर वर 5 विच वी हैव डिस्कस. इनिशियली देयर वर 5 एंड लेटर द 6th particularly thing has been added, that is the north east zonal council. So India has 5 zonal council: north, central, eastern, western and southern, and in addition we have a separate northeastern council that is specifically for the development of your northeast region. Now North Zonal Council, what is the aim? Obviously to foster the particularly national integration, to work on cooperative federalism. यानी कि federalism मतलब kind of a division of power, and we are working together for the development of the particularly country and for the people of the states and for the country. So same like that we are also promoting federalism here, कि group of state they have decided कि चलो साथ में चलते हैं, and then what we will do, actually we will going to basically discuss the common problem, will come up with the solutions and with more kind of initiatives or events and projects, so that every individual state which is connected or in this zone can have a benefit of each and every project. So this is what actually the target is. So its aim is to promote national integration and foster cooperative federalism. This is a very important point the key term which you have to mention here is the cooperative federalism, because such type of keywords if you mention in your paper, definitely it is giving you a edge marks. So if UPSC asks you there is only states are present in these councils, so already we have saw ki nahi, there are not only states, we have also union territories which are also part of these councils. So each council, now this is very important, the composition becomes very important. Every council have home minister, which we have saw कि भैया center or state both are representing in this council. UTs are also part of it. So from the center you will see कि union home minister is the person who is actually taking part. Then every state का you will see chief minister, यानी चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ ऑल स्टेट्स इन द जोन्स, एंड साथ के साथ 2 मिनिस्टर्स ऑफ ईच पर्टिकुलरली स्टेट, एंड यूटी से यू विल सी द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर ऑफ द यूटी, बिकॉज इन यूटीज वी हैव एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर. सो again once again we have to see this data. Each council में we have union home minister, यानी कि center से home minister is representing, then all the chief ministers of the basically in that zone, whatever the from that states which are present in the zones, all the chief ministers will also going to participate, and 2 other ministers and an administrator from UT. This is what actually the composition of this zonal council. This is very important. ठीक है. Then obviously some of the particularly there are further members also who don't have any kind of a voting right. That are some of the members that are non-voting members, which you will see from your Niti Aayog. So some people nominees are from Niti Aayog nominee. Then your chief secretary of each state, which you will see. Then development commission of each state. These are the particularly people which you will see also participate in this particularly meeting. So states say whoever the person who are participating from the center and state, they are particularly having the voting rights also, yani ki the final decisions, if any particular decision is taken, then they have voting right, they can decide ki this particular thing is right or wrong for the state. But the other members who are participating in this, like your Niti Aayog nominee, chief secretary of each state, development commission of each state, these are the particular people who don't have voting rights. So if UPSC asks you a statement कि every individual which is participating in the meeting, they have a voting rights, so answer will be no. Every individual which is actually participating here, they don't have voting rights. Now common chairperson is your union home minister. किसी भी zone का meeting हो, your union home minister yani Amit Shah will be there for that particular meeting. But the other question arises कि क्या chief minister they don't have any role to play? क्या only Amit Shah is the chair? I mean, it's not the Amit Shah exactly. Only the union home minister is the chief person or the chairperson. मतलब he will only be the chairperson. So answer is no. There are other chairpersons as well. So what is that? Each chief minister has also a very important role to play. Now what is that role play? कि home minister will always be let's say he is the prominent decision making authority, he is the one who will going to lead the meeting. But अब तुमने zones को इकट्ठा किया है, तो you have to give this kind of importance, इतना relevance you have to give to states individually also. So that's why for that solution they have said that कि भाई साहब home minister is the chairperson, but we will be having a second designation, that is a vice chairperson, and every state, each chief minister becomes vice chairman of the council on the rotation basis. यानी कि एक साल में हिमाचल प्रदेश, next year it could be Haryana, next year it could be Rajasthan. So इस तरीके से we have a basically chief minister are also working as a vice chairman on a rotation basis, and for how many years? So it's for a 1 year, ताकि short duration में everyone is getting opportunity to become a vice chairman and strongly basically quote their point or quote their actually statement or whatever the particularly things they required, whatever the opinion they share in that particular firm in a very strong manner. So this is what actually the concept which you will see. This is very important. I am repeating this once again. Union home ministers serve as the common chairperson for all the zonal councils, all the 5 zonal council, and each chief minister becomes a vice chairman of council by rotation for every 1 year. Second, chief secretaries of the member state, obviously chief secretaries of the states hote hain member states, they also actually act as a secretary for each zonal council for same on rotation basis for 1 year term. So this is the particularly concept which you will see here. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Okay, चलिए. So this is the concept. Union minister is chairperson, then every chief minister is actually vice chairperson for 1 year, yani ki on the rotation basis, and then there are chief secretaries of the state. They also become basically the secretary of the zonal council for 1 year on the rotation basis. Hope so this statement is very clear, because chances are there ki UPSC can ask you something like this from here ki bhai the chief ministers are for 1 year and the chief secretaries are only for the 6 month on the they are working on the rotation basis for 6 months. So such questions can be asked, so always beware ki you are not actually marking it wrong. Now what are the functions of these basically zonal council? So first of all, obviously the chairman is scheduling everything. They are sitting, they are discussing about the particularly common problems which they are facing, how should they work on it, and the other particularly there, and each council have a standard committee, yani standing committee of the state, and chief secretaries are the one who are examining the issues, and only the unresolved matters are placed before the full council. And this is very important. Usse pehle to they are discussing on their common grounds and they are resolving the problem, but major problems which are unresolved among these states, that is one actually placed in front of basically the council. Now if UPSC asks you all the problems related to the state, basically every problem related to the zone or basically related to that zone or whatever the zone meeting has been conducted is resolved in the same meeting, so answer is nahi. Only the unresolved particularly problems are put up in the zonal council. That becomes very important from examination point of view. So the chairman determines the meeting schedule and the members submit memoranda with relevant facts of secretary for the agenda inclusion. Second, each council has a standing committee of state of the chief secretaries examine issues first, and only the unresolved matters are placed before the full council. Then obviously at the end of the day, pura majority vote is taking place. Presiding officer, that is your basically union home minister, it has a casting vote. जैसे कि speaker and chairman के पास we have a casting vote. What is the casting vote? For example, 100 people are there for the voting, 50 said yes, यानी कि in favor of that let's say particularly thing, and 50 said no. So in short it will not be a tie. यहाँ पे क्या होगा, the speaker let's say in case of Lok Sabha the speaker has a casting vote, यानी कि one vote of the speaker, if speaker say yes so it will become 51, यानी कि चलो ठीक है, it will go in the favor of the stuff. If speaker says no then it will become 51. Here in the no side then particularly concept will be or whatever the policy will not going to pass. So this is what actually the casting vote. And in this zonal council, your home minister, who is the presiding officer of the zonal council, he or she has the casting vote in case of tie, and all recommendations are non-binding, which I have already told you कि whenever the body is advisory body, majorly their recommendations are not binding, यानी कि उनका कोई भी फॉलो नहीं किया जाए या कुछ भी रहे तो कोई भी पनिशमेंट नहीं रहती, वो एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग होती है कि yes we should respect this and yes we should work on this. So this is what actually the thing which you will see related to this zonal council. So first of all चलो फटाफट एक बार let us see. Recently, the 32nd meeting of Zonal Council has been occurred, North Zonal Council, that is in Faridabad, Haryana. What is Zonal Council? It's a statutory body. That means it has been created by an act. What is the name of the act? That is the State Reorganization Act. Aim is to basically work on these councils. Like zones may we have divided the state so that their common problems can be resolved like with a partnership kind of a thing. And there were initially 5 zonal councils, and now later the 6th zonal council have been added, that is basically your Northeast Council. So there are currently 6 zonal councils which you will see, 5 plus 1, North, Central, Eastern, Western and Southern, and later Northeast Council has been basically added. Aim of this particular council is to work on national integration and cooperative federalism, yani ki to basically work effectively in a very cooperative manner. Now what is the composition? So composition is that we have Union Home Minister, we have Chief Minister of all states, we have two ministers of each states which are representing here, and administrators of UT. They have voting right, but there are also people who are participant of this meeting who don't have a basically voting right. Those are your Niti Aayog nominee, Chief Secretary of each state, and some of the development councils of each state. Now Union Minister is the chairperson, but states have also given authority. Chief Ministers of state also become vice chairperson for 1 year, and rotational basis they keep on changing. Then same kind of a thing, chief secretaries are also there. They also become the secretary of each zonal council on the rotation basis. After 1 year they also keep on changing. Now what is the function of this council? So function is basically to determine the schedule, to work on the problems which are there, but majorly the unresolved problems of the state actually is the one which is representing in the meeting of the zonal council. So this is what actually thing, and every particularly council, each council, north, south, central, they have their own standing committee of the state chief secretaries. They will going to examine the problem, and at the end of the day they will decide which problem is unresolved, and that should be go to the north council, yani ki that should be go to the final meeting of the council, and then final voting is there. Majority vote wins, but in case of tie, presiding officer, that is basically in this case you have your Home Affairs Minister, Ministry of Home Affairs ka leader. He is actually the he is having the particularly casting vote power, yani at the end he will decide ki which should be basically which party should win. So this is what actually your casting vote is. Now the next article is related to the shark. Scientists have spotted the rare Ginkgo tooth-beak whales from the first time in the wild along the coast of your Baja California in Mexico. So this is your kind of a whale, or why it is known as Ginkgo whale, because iska jo tusk hota hai, iska jo particularly you will see this beak part, it's look like your Ginkgo. I have not added that image. It's look like your Ginkgo leaf hoti hai. So Ginkgo leaf is something looks like this. So इस तरीके का इसका ये टस, ये जो particularly beak होती है, that is the reason why it is known as a Ginkgo, your Ginkgo tooth whale. So it is basically one of the least known species, one of the rarest species, and finding of such species already become very important, because it is believed that in few years if it is not protected, it might become extinct species of the world. So that's why this is what you will see. It has a very broad flattened head, U-shaped head you can see. Then you will see IUCN status. Here it is mentioned endangered, but it is not endangered. Later we will see the status has been changed. This is the Purana data which you will see. Then they have ability to dive in a depth exceed up to 1000 meters for hunt for the fishes and squid. This is what the importance of this basically Ginkgo which you will see. Then there are on an average you will see 24 beaked whales which you can see. This is a very important point. So they are one of the 24 species of beaked whales which you will see. They are second most diverse group after the dolphins which you will see, and because of this deep, this kind of a basically beaked system, they can dive particularly very deep in the ocean, so that which helps them for the hunting like your fishes and squid. So beaked whales are the deepest diving mammals on the earth. So if UPSC, they love to ask something questions like related to the mammal, chahe wo mammal your species ho, chahe it's ocean species or normal species, they have asked lot of such tricky questions related to the mammals. So please always make sure you are very attentive towards these species which are specifically the mammals one. So the your beaked whales are the deepest diving mammals on the earth, and they spend most of their lives in the oceans, only coming for the surface for a few minutes for basically for the breathing wala part. So this is what actually they actually work like a dolphin, thoda dolphin like they have work, but actually it's your whale ka species which you will see. Now they are dark blue in color. So they are dark blue black with the white spots on the body and belly, while females are mild grey with paler bellies. This is also very important. Sometimes they also ask you the difference between the male and female species as well in a statement based question. So this is very important. Males are typically dark blue black with white spots and blotches on the belly, while females are mid grey with paler bellies which you will see. They are found in your tropical and warm temperate waters of your western Pacific, and they are thought to occur primarily in a deep offshore waters. They are little studious, they are very rare, and their IUCN status is now data deficient. Yani ki we say that we are not sure right now कि what exactly their status is right now, कि वो endangered हो चुकी हैं, they are still present in a number, या क्या scenario है. So it has been basically shifted from your endangered to the list of data deficient. Then kites का appendix 2, यानी कि their preservation is very important, and why this particularly status has been changed from your endangered to your data deficient, because we know very rare about them, यानी कि very rare they are spotted. This is the reason. So there is not enough information to determine the species population size, impact, threat, potential, vulnerable, क्या चीज़ से they are affecting. We are not exactly sure about this. That is the reason why you will see we have shifted the status from endangered to data deficient. Next article, this is also very important article which you will see. India launches first indigenous CRISPR gene therapy, that is BIRSA 101 for sickle cell disease. So obviously we have studied about this Birsa Munda ji also, Birsa Munda Bhagwan. So this sickle cell के ऊपर the technology which we have created, the CRISPR gene therapy. We have also studied about the precision biotherapeutics in the live session, and we have saw about ki what is the basically precision therapeutics mein, biotherapeutics mein we have discussed about the technologies which we are using under the therapy, that is the gene therapy, the cell therapy and the mRNA therapy, different therapies which we are using specifically for that. So this is one of the gene therapy which we are using for the CRISPR protein, CRISPR basically to detect, to work on the particularly disease that is related to your sickle cell. So what is the news? Recently, the Union Minister of State, Independent Charge for the Science and Technology, launched India's first indigenous CRISPR, that is technology, based gene therapy for your sickle cell disease, that is named as BIRSA 101. So if UPSC recently asked you, what do we mean by BIRSA 101? So BIRSA 101 is a name which has been given to a CRISPR technology, gene therapy, which is actually used for treating of sickle cell diseases. Now, first of all, we need to understand what is this sickle cell in short. ठीक है, दिस इज योर नॉर्मल ब्लड वेन, यानी कि जो नॉर्मल बॉडी में सेल्स है, यू कैन सी द ब्लड वेन विच इज देयर, एंड ब्लड इज मेड अप ऑफ टिश्यूज, सेल्स एंड डिफरेंट और मेजरली पार्ट्स, मतलब देयर आर विच इज हेल्पिंग देम इन फंक्शनिंग, बट मेजरली सेल्स इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट ऑफ द बॉडी. This is the normal cell in a blood vessel which you will see. इनका काम होता है to carry oxygen in the every part of the body. Majorly these are the work, blood flow को maintain रखना. This is what actually the work of these cells are. So this is your normal cells which you can see in a body. But if someone is suffering from a sickle cell disease, तो उस situation में their cells look like this. ठीक है, their basically red blood cells look like this. That is a sickle shape. Sickle is like your, हमारे गांव में we called it a हसुआ. It's a very sharp object which is used for basically cutting off your crops वगैरह पे. So that's why this has been named as a sickle. So this is what actually, and यहाँ पे the normal functioning is taking place in the body, but if basically cells look like this, यानी कि body में functioning उतनी effective नहीं होने वाली है. So this is what actually the problem which we face with your sickle cell. Now, it's a genetical condition. What is sickle cell? So it is a genetical condition which you will see where your red blood cells, the cells which are present in your body, the size is not actually same or normal as others. It is a sickle shaped, less capable of carrying oxygen. Just imagine, oxygen से तो we are surviving. अगर हमारी body में oxygen is not delivered properly, so how it will going to affect my body? Sometimes lack of oxygen can also lead to heart attack and brain damages. So lack of oxygen in the body is such a crucial thing which you will see. So that is the point. So such basically sickle shaped cells, when there are body in the body, they are less capable of carrying oxygen, which is their main function, and because of which people are suffering from lot of diseases like your pain, chronic pain, organ damage, anemia, infection and stroke. So this is actually the reason कि sickle cell की वजह से क्या क्या body में effect पड़ सकता है. So this is what actually the sickle cell disease is. Now, what is the thing? India mein why we are coming up with lot of initiatives specifically related to the sickle cell and to treat this sickle cell disease, because this disease has been seen very common, like very common in your tribal people, and tribal may be specifically in the tribal areas of Jharkhand, MP, Chhattisgarh. So lot of tribal people in our country, they are suffering from this disease, that is sickle cell disease. यानी कि कहीं ना कहीं this is also a hereditary thing, like इससे समझ आ रहा है कि पास ऑन होता है, वरना ऐसा कैसे हो सकती है कि ट्राइबल ग्रुप में सारी चीजें हो रही है. तो दिस इज समथिंग व्हिच इज आल्सो पास ऑन, मतलब इट इज एक्चुअली passing on from one body to another. So it's very high prevalence among the scheduled tribes in central India, and states which are highly affected with this is Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Odisha, Jharkhand, Gujarat, Rajasthan. And that's why we have followed one more news. Your Gujarat has become the first state to actually work on the genome study, yani ki tribal genome study. यानी कि गुजरात ऑफिशियली हैव रिकॉग्नाइज दैट, ऑफिशियली दे हैव सेड दैट कि हम लोग अपने ट्राइबल्स के पूरे जेनेटिकल सिस्टम पे वी विल गोइंग टू स्टडी सो दैट वी कैन कम आउट विद अ कंक्लूजन, वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई स्पेसिफिकली सम ट्राइब्स आर सफरिंग फ्रॉम दिस काइंड ऑफ अ प्रॉब्लम, एंड वन ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम इज योर सिकल सेल. सो दैट्स व्हाई your Gujarat has become the first state which is actually working on this sickle, your tribal genome editing project, and it is also one of the part of your national sickle cell elimination program. So these are the states which are highly affected with the sickle cells, that is your MP, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Odisha, Jharkhand, Gujarat and Rajasthan, and India accounts on an average approx 50% of the world sickle cell diseases. So that is such a huge concern for the country. That's why we have targeted to end this sickle cell also under the National Elimination of Sickle Cell Policy. Now, this is the first gene therapy. We have already discussed in detail what is gene therapy, how we actually replace or add the faulty genes from the body and through the precision biotherapeutics. We already have discussed the gene therapy. We are just kind of getting the name of that therapy, and the name of that therapy is your CRISPR-based gene therapy that is designed to treat the sickle cell disease. And what is the name? So it's Birsa 101, to honor the tribal god, that is your Birsa Munda. Why? Because lot of people, tribal people, they are suffering from this disease. That's why it has been named as a Birsa 101, developed by your CSR Institute of Genomics and your Integrative Biology. So some of the characteristics of Birsa: it's a first indigenous India CRISPR based gene therapy, and plus it is an indigenous therapy, yani ki it is cheaper, not that cheaper, but yes, it is cheaper than other CRISPR gene therapies. Yani ki for the Indian people still it is actually affordable as compared to the other particularly CRISPR gene therapy which are present in the country. Next, precision correction is done. We have already discussed about all this, named after one because recently 150th anniversary of the Birsa Munda ji has been celebrated. So this is also the thing. So with this precision biotherapeutics, this particularly gene coding will be done, gene editing will be done in the body, gene therapy will be done in the body. And the therapy has to be given as a one-time infusion, after which the body should start producing normal red blood cells instead of sickle shaped cells. So we have already saw कि एक बार when we replace that faulty genes, उसके बाद में it body start producing healthy cells in the body. So that's why it is very important after the gene therapy, the particularly round, proper, typical, normal blood cells will be created in the body rather than a sickle shaped cell which you will see. Now, what is the National Sickle Cell Elimination Mission? So it was launched in 2023. Obviously, the aim is to eliminate the sickle cell from India by 2047. Yani ki when we will be celebrating the 100th year of India independence, we said that we will also going to end the problem of sickle cell from the country. How many particularly states are covered under this? So currently 17 states and UT with a higher tribal population have been covered under this initiative that is related to the sickle cell elimination from the country. So this is the second most article which we have discussed. Number 1 is zonal council, number 2 sickle cell, Birsa 101. Third article is related to the Inland Water Authority of India. What is the article? Inland Water Authority of India have signed MOU with worth 3,000 crore during your Indian Maritime Week 2025 to boost the cargo transport, water-based urban mobility and river tourism in Northeast. So this is also specifically related to Northeast. What is Inland Water Authority? We will discuss about this also, because time to time UPSC asks you MCQ on such bodies कि statutory body है और it's actually normal body, it's non-statutory body, executive body, constitutional body, non-constitutional body है. Such questions are asked, statement based questions are asked related to the bodies. So we'll discuss about that. But before that, one more thing which is related to maritime only. Recently, government has said that CISF, that is part of your Central Armed Forces. So CISF will now also be posted in the seaports of the country. ठीक है, यानी कि अब जो CISF है, that is Central Industrial Your Security Forces, that will be also posted in your basically near your seaports. यानी कि seaports पे Navy के साथ they will be also going to work effectively on the seaport. What is CISF? So CISF is one of the 7 bodies, majorly 7 bodies of your Central Armed Forces, and it works for the protection of industries like your Delhi Metro, airports पे it is actually present, any atomic power plant, any nuclear power plant reactor is there. So like to protection of these companies, private and basically semi-private and government bodies, we have your CISF. Now CISF will also be posted near your basically seaports, and they will going to also protect 13 major ports of the country. Plus they will also going to on an average work on 250 sea related works or maritime related works or protection पे they will going to work, but they will also going to give special protection to 13 major ports of the country, यानी कि जहाँ से भारत का major transportation is taking place nationally and internationally. So this is very important article. Another article which is important from your maritime security. Now let us come to the topic, that is Inland Waterway Authority of India. Now first of all, obviously it's a statutory body, that means it has been created by an act. So what is the name of the act? That is Inland Waterways Authority of India Act 1985. जैसे कि we have saw, Zonal Council is also a statutory body which has been created by an act, that is Reorganization Act. Same, Indian Waterway Authority is also basically a statutory body which has been created by an act, that is Inland Waterway Authority Act 1985 under Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways. Hope so this fact is very clear with you guys. कि Inland Waterway Authority of India is a statutory body established under Inland Waterway Authority India Act 1985. Which ministry? That is Ministry of Port and Shipping. Now what is the aim? So obviously development, maintenance and protection, working, improve trade. This is what actually the target of this body. So what is the aim? Development, regulation, maintenance of India inland waterway for shipping and navigation. इनलैंड वाटरवे का मतलब क्या होता है? व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय इनलैंड वाटरवे? यानी कि मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द ट्रेड ऑफ कंट्रीज नॉट ओनली टेकिंग बाय द ओशंस, दे आर ऑल्सो कंडक्टेड, दे आर ऑल्सो बेसिकली टेकन प्लेस बाय अ पर्टिकुलरली रिवर सिस्टम. अ प्रॉपर रिवर सिस्टम इज ऑल्सो यूज. दैट्स वाई वी हैव ऑल्सो क्रिएट नॉट ओनली हाईवेज बट वी हैव ऑल्सो क्रिएटेड नेशनल वाटरवेज. There are on an average more than 100 national waterways which you will see in the country, out of which 5 to 6 are majorly used also. Like Ganga pe we have, Brahmaputra pe we have. So lot of national waterways are present in the country to improve the inland trade between the among the states. So this is also, that's why this body plays a very important role in a trade within a country. So this is basically one of the important aspect. Now what is the function of this basically Indian waterway? So developing national waterways, यानी कि the work is to develop national waterways, जैसे कि national waterway 1, national waterway 2, that is on Brahmaputra river, national waterway 16, that is in the Barak river. This is what have been created. Then they are also working on the channel, creating river पे how the particularly route will be created. That is also they are working for the development. Navigation किस तरीके का होना चाहिए, On that they are working. Like your navigation infrastructure, terminals they are creating, jetties they are creating, ro-ro ferries, plus they are also creating taxis. Water taxis are also ones which are created under this Inland Waterway Authority. Then night navigation system, everything is basically created here, and all the regulation work, kaun aayega, kaun jayega, all the paperwork, and it is also looked after by this Inland Waterway Authority. So vessel movement, pilotage and coordination with the state, everything is actually looked after by this authority, that is Inland Waterway Authority. Next, how many national waterways? So there are on an average 111 national waterways which are declared under National Waterway Act 2016. So on an average 111 waterways are there, national waterways, out of which some of the prominent you can see: National Waterway Ganga Haldia to Varanasi, then you will see Brahmaputra, 3 mein you will see West Coast Canal, 4 and 5 you will see South mein, and West Bengal ke network pe. Now we are specifically talking about to increase tourism and trade with northeastern states. So it is very important to also learn about the northeast water river system. So let us see what is the waterway in the northeast. So there are a lot of rivers which are present in northeast, like your Brahmaputra, Subanshiri, Lohit, Dihang, Dibang, Manas. Then we have Barak, Chimtupui, Imphal, Gumti. These are one of the major Siang, Lohit, Tawang. These are the major water transport ways which we are using in your basically northeast, and out of which 2 to 3 are very important, like your National Water 2, that is actually in Brahmaputra, जो कि आपका डुबरी, that is basically Assam. Dubri Sadia is the main artway to Assam cargo and passenger movement. Then we have National Waterway 16, that is on Barak River, Lakhimpur Bhanga key route for Manipur, Mizoram and southern Assam. So these are the two basically major waterways which you will see which are present in your northeast. Major I am talking about, that is your National Highway 2 and National Waterway 2, that is on Brahmaputra, National Waterway 16, that is on Barak River. Now one more thing, there are two rivers, one is Barak River and another one is a Barakar River. So Barakar River is present in your, I guess, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh wala area, but Barak River is present in your northeast. So don't get confused in paper if UPSC asking you about the Barakar River, but back of the mind you're like, acha Barak River. Nahin, Barakar River is different and Barak River is different. Barak River is present in northeast and Barakar River is present, I guess, in Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, this side. So that's why the two difference which you will see between the rivers. The another one is your Indo-Bangladesh protocol, that is known as IB protocol. Obviously Brahmaputra, Ganga, they are also sharing border with your Bangladesh. So those particularly rivers are not only used for trade within a state, but they are also used as an international tool for trade. Jaise ki under the your initiative which we called as a, just we are connecting your I just forget that project. Jisme we are Kaladan multimodal project. So we are connecting to through like with Myanmar through a particularly river system, that is Kaladan river system, and through Kaladan we are also connecting to the northeast region. So that's a kind of a, particularly we are also using other country river system for that. Then we have another organization based on river, that is Mekong Ganga Cooperation. So we are using these river from the trade perspective, from the international perspective. So the another particular perspective by this waterway is important, that is your Indo-Bangladesh protocol route, under which we are using the Bangladeshi port to trade with the other countries. And these are the developed waterway routes which has been suggested by your Indian authority. In future you will see that these will also be a proper developed system in the particularly in the national waterway or in the trade perspective. Now that's all for the article. Let us switch to the another article that is related to Integrated Child Development Service Scheme, ICDS. Now this is one of the most effective scheme which you will see, and UPSC have asked question on this many a times. What is your ICDS which you will see? It's a basically scheme which has been started around year 1975 and recently it has covered its 50th year. So chances are very high that UPSC can ask you question from here, because recently your Integrated Child Development Services has completed 50 years since it launched in 1975. Now you need to understand one thing, the term integrated itself shows that a lot of schemes are present under this. So that is all, this is the important aspect which you will see. So that's why it's an integration of lot of schemes or lot of basically sub opportunities which has been, or sub kind of a things which we have covered for the child development under one platform. Now, it has been launched on 2nd October 1975, Nodal Ministry, National Ministry of Women and Child Development. It's a centrally sponsored scheme, yani ki majorly center and state both are the working in this particularly scheme. Then, world largest community based scheme which you will see, this is actually giving benefit, this is very important. Beneficiaries are children of 0 to 6 years, pregnant women, lactating mothers yani ki feeding mothers, and adolescent girl under the extensions. This is actually the key beneficiaries of this. Like if they ask you all the particularly child abhi 0 to 6, 6 to 14, everyone is actually beneficiary of this ICDS. So answer is no. 0 to 6, lactating mother, pregnant women, adolescent girl under the extension, these are the particularly individuals who are the beneficiaries. It's a centrally sponsored scheme, world largest community based outreach program which was launched in 1975. What is the objective of this particularly scheme? Is to basically, it's like working on to improve the rate of students going to school, yani ki school dropouts ko kam karna, work on the nutrition, work on the education, both mental, nutritional, physical education, enhance basically maternal care, because pregnant women and lactating women are also involved. Yani ki pre and pro women care is also important, like before pregnancy and after pregnancy is also, like during pregnancy and after pregnancy care is also involved. So it's kind of a basket of every particularly individual whom they are targeting. So what is the objective? Improve nutrition and health status of 0 to 6 years of children. Very important. Lay foundation for physical, psychological and social development. Reduce mortality, mobility, malnutrition and school dropouts. Provide a non-formal preschool education. That's why Anganwadi workers, Asha workers, these are actually, the Anganwadi is one of the sub-initiative of ICDS. Asha workers are also associated with ICDS. Okay? Then enhance maternal health and nutrition awareness. So this is what actually the objective of ICDS. Now one more thing. Umbrella ICDS. So umbrella ICDS in 2016-17, we have actually restructured the name of this organization, the name of this initiative from ICDS to umbrella ICDS scheme. And under this lot of sub schemes has been added, जैसे कि आंगनवाड़ी सर्विस स्कीम, प्रधानमंत्री मातृ वंदना स्कीम, नेशनल क्रेच स्कीम, स्कीम फॉर एडोलेसेंस गर्ल, चाइल्ड प्रोटेक्शन स्कीम, पोषण अभियान, under which we try to fulfill the nutrition value of the kids. So this is what actually in 2016-17 the particularly scheme has been restructured and renamed as a umbrella ICDS scheme, and with the aim to strengthen the child nutrition, early childhood care, adolescents girl support and child protection services with the help of Anganwadi centers, which is serving as a hub for the health, nutrition and education point of view. So it has been updated in 2000, restructured and renamed in 2016-17, that is umbrella, your basically ICDS scheme. Please don't get confused, as it is a centrally sponsored scheme, so obviously center and state in partnership they are actually funding for this. For general states, the ratio is 60-40, for supplementary nutrition 50-50, Northeast and Himalaya mein 90-10, yani ki 90% is given by the center, 10% by the state, and UT without any legislative assembly, 100% is funding given by your center. So this is what actually important aspect of ICDS. Now the another national park, poachers have killed 2 bison recently in Chifli East Range of your Boramdev Sanctuary at Kavarda in basically Chhattisgarh. Now, it's a basically, see these kind of national parks are as in question. This is a particularly national park which is present in Chhattisgarh. In which hills? That is your Satpura Maikal range. So, situated in Maikal range of Satpura hills. It is also famous from your Boramdev temple, which is also known as Mini Khajuraho. This is also very important. Sorry, Khajuraho of Chhattisgarh. This is how it's look. Khajuraho temple आप जाएंगे, that is present in your MP. It is a very beautiful place. So you will see a proper architecture and related to the different dynasties over there. But same kind of architecture is can also be seen in this Maikal range of Satpura hills of this temple. That's why it is known as Khajuraho of your Chhattisgarh. This is also very important fact. Location Chhattisgarh. It was earlier known as, it is present in your district earlier known as Kabir Dham, now it is known as Kavda district, then situated in Maikal range of Satpura hills, close to the famous your Bhuram Dev temple, which is also known as Khajuraho of Chhattisgarh. So if UPSC asks you which of the following is also known as Khajuraho of Chhattisgarh, so if they are giving you option is your this also, that is your Bhuram Dev temple, then it is also basically one of the important feature of this. Now, this particularly temple, this particularly wildlife sanctuary has been, place has been given the status of wildlife sanctuary in 2001, and the sanctuary was created by merging two forest regions, that is your Bhuram Dev Reserve Forest and adjoining the forest ranges, named after the tribal deity. Who is the tribal deity? That is Bhuram Dev was the tribal deity who is associated with the tribe, that is the Gond tribe. So if they ask you in the paper कि Bhuram Dev is related to which tribe, so it is actually related to your Gond tribe. So this is also very important. If UPSC asks you Bhuram Dev is related to which tribe, that is the Gond tribe, plus Birsa Munda ka 150th anniversary is celebrated. So chances are very high. They can ask you question from your tribal area, plus national sickle cell is also related to that. Then the genome technology or therapy which has been started by the Gujarat government and other states we are also starting. So this becomes very important from examination point of view. So area of this is on an average 352 square kilometer, hilly terrain, mixed forest, undulating part of the larger. It is also, this is very important point, it is part of your Achna Kamar and your Amarkantak landscape, and it is very important part of the central India. What is the forest type? Zyadatar it's your tropical dry and moist deciduous forest which you will see, and sal, teak, bamboo, mahua, these are the particularly plants which you can find over here. This is also one of the important aspect related to this extra fact as your Bhumardev Wildlife Sanctuary, where 2 bisons have been killed. Now recently the next article which is related to your 8 index. Now what is the article? India core infrastructure outpost stagnated in October 2025, recording 0% growth in the world performance in worst performance in your last 14 months. देखिए the India of 8 core index के अंदर we have some, मतलब कि how should I explain? It is actually you can say this is an index that is known as index of 8 core industries. It is actually released every month, और इस month में देखा गया 0% development has been done in the core industries. First of all, we need to understand which of the industries are known as core industries. So in core industries we have your oil, refinery. I have missed that part, I guess. ठीक है, so you have your coal, you have refinery, you have basically these are the particularly industries which are known as 8 core industries. Now there recently we have saw a coal, petroleum gases, this is the particular industry which is related to, and recently we have saw 0% growth this month, and that's why this is one of the very shocking news which you will see. So it is a monthly economic indicator that measures the growth rate and the performance of 8 major industrial sectors of the country, जिसमें जिसके मतलब these are the major sectors जिससे इकोनॉमी का एक बहुत बड़ा contribution होता है. So it is a monthly economic indicator that measures the growth rate and performance of 8 major industrial sector, and it is released by Office of Economic Advisor, that is OEA, under Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Base year has been shifted. 2011 and 12 is the base year of this particularly index which we consider, and the 8 industries together have on an average 40.27% of the weight of industrial production of the country. Now, which are the particularly sectors, which are the key features of this index? Obviously, from this index, we come to know what is the growth rate of the country, what is the functioning of the particularly sectors in the different areas, because this particularly sectors are also promoting employment to a lot of people, giving employment. So, how the economic frequency decisions of industry is there, because on development of such industry, we also make plan and policies accordingly. So, these are the key features which you will see of this particularly industry, this particularly of the index. So it measures the infrastructure performance, like you're reflecting the supply side strength, publish every month offering high frequency economic insight, helps to forecast the growth and the trend so that we can make policies accordingly, which we have discussed. It tracks both the sectoral performance and the overall index, yani sector wise art sectors mein what is the thing and what are the other aspects which are associated with this. Or this is also early indicator that it's high time that you should work on the recovery of these sector, and this is one of the indicator where there is a 0% growth which has been saw in this month. Now, it's your homework. I have missed this here, but it's your homework. Just go and find out which are the 8 core industries of this particularly area. So, which are the particularly sectors or which are the particularly industries which are known as 8 core industries. It's your homework. You have to basically do that as an homework, and tomorrow we will meet again and we will basically going to discuss. If you are seeing this video abhi ya baad mein, so please do mention in the comment section which of the following industries are known as 8 core industries. That's all for the current affairs today. Hope so the particularly article was good. Hope so you have understood the article which I have tried to convey, and the other articles, I always repeat, other articles you will get in our monthly magazines, but here we are discussing about the all important articles. Majorly the important articles are discussed here. Plus regularly we are also posting your MCQs for the daily practice thing. So go and also visit on the websites and do practice the questions and tell us the score, what is actually your score is. That's all for today. Have a nice day. We'll meet again tomorrow.